início era a ARPANET. Ela foi desenhada para uso militar. Conectou as Forças Armadas Americanas e as agências de espionagem do país para servir como proteção no caso de um ataque nuclear. Para dar o alerta, bastavam alguns poucos bytes. Mas em pouco tempo a ARPANET saiu dos laboratórios militares, formou a base da internet e invadiu nossas vidas. Mas uma nova rede que já está funcionando em universidades americanas vai fazer o que hoje nós achamos rápido parecer muito lento.
Internet 2 allows science, which is increasingly international, to exchange data and information at very high speeds, speeds that are beyond human comprehension.
O americano Stephen Wolff é considerado um dos pais da internet. Trabalhou em um dos laboratórios militares onde as fundações da grande rede foram lançadas. Foi um dos primeiros a perceber o potencial que vários computadores reunidos poderiam ter não só nos confrontos da Guerra Fria, mas também nas universidades e para as pessoas. Num tempo em que as pesquisas eram feitas isoladamente, em universidades espalhadas pelo país, Wolff teve a ideia, em 1986, de interligar os computadores de 5 universidades em rede.
I was fortunate enough at the time, at the very early stages of the ARPANET.
Talking the beginning of the 80s.
In the 80s, yes. In fact, earlier, in the 70s.
Right.
To be working in an organization where there was a large mainframe computer, which was accessible from all over the company, all over the installation.
Which company was that?
It was called the Ballistic Research Laboratory. It was a military laboratory. But the point was that it was easy to see the benefits of interconnectivity to the scientific enterprise. And it was only a small step to see that the same kind of benefits would accrue if it were available outside the laboratory, if it were available to everybody.
That made you think that you could do that to buy clothes, machinery, and stuff.
But it was obvious. Right?
To you, it was.
Well, but you see, everybody has these experiences, right? One of the things that I had to do at that time, I was building a house, right? And so I had to find out where the boundaries of the property were, right? And what were the zoning regulations on. And you know how you did that? In the 70s?
Oh, you had to go.
You go to City Hall, yeah. right? And beg your question of somebody behind a desk. And it just seemed to me, it's obvious. I wouldn't have to do that at work, right? I could just call it up from the computer. Why can't I do that at home? That was obvious. The things that, because the conduct of science is not that much different from the conduct of ordinary life, is it? You collaborate, you think, you get data, you absorb it, you write things, and you disseminate them. Those are all the things that you do in ordinary life. And since you can do them with a computer and interconnected computers for science and research, why can't you do them for everything else?
Mas se os baldes da época, ou centenas de bits por segundo, eram capazes de levar toda essa informação de um lado para o outro, hoje tudo mudou. A quantidade gigantesca de dados coletados e a contribuição cada vez maior em experimentos como o LHC na Suíça ou nos telescópios ao redor do mundo tornou necessárias velocidades que eram difíceis de imaginar até pouco tempo atrás. Are we ever going to need, for personal use, as a society, anything like Internet 2?
There are two reasons that you need a large bandwidth, right? One is if you have a scientific instrument, some sort of instrument that is putting out this deluge of data. The other is if there are millions of people, right? Millions of users each using a few megabits. In addition, in the future, it will not just be people who are using the internet. Right? The currently fashionable buzz phrase is the Internet of Things. In the future, many more things than we are accustomed to thinking of today will be internet connected. There's an old joke about having your refrigerator having an internet connection and calling up the grocery store and ordering milk when you start to run low.
Well, my phone today has an internet connection that does things.
Yes.
Even parking my car.
Exactly. And that can only increase, that will only increase as more and more things, light switches on the wall, electric sockets on the wall. There are already in your car probably more than 10 networks, right, for communicating information to run the car. And the beauty of the internet technology, as it has been developed, is it is able to accommodate both sets of needs in a unified framework, which allows the things to communicate with people and vice versa. So you can control things and things can talk to you.
Imagine que as nossas primeiras conexões fossem como bicicletas nas primeiras trilhas da internet. Hoje, trafegamos na estrada da informação com os nossos confortáveis sedãs, a alguns megabits por segundo. Navegar na Internet 2 é como atravessar continentes a bordo de um supersônico, com velocidades 50.000 vezes maiores, de centenas de bilhões de bits por segundo. When will that capability be translated into a much broader use, if ever? Do you see it?
The key concept is collaboration. The reason for needing these high-speed networks is transfer of data and collaboration among scientists who are doing the research. Science is increasingly international. It's not atypical for a scientific paper to have a half a page full of authors. Scientific collaboration is larger and more endemic than it ever was before. So the technologies that are developed for collaboration are the same as the technologies which are available on the internet that we all use at home. Mm-hmm. Do you use collaboration tools at home? Yes, you do. With your friends, you use tools, social networks, for example, right. Facebook and the like. These are tools for collaboration among people. They're the same kinds of tools developed for slightly different purposes as are used in the scientific community on Internet 2 and its sister networks around the world.
Are we going to have a multitude of different internets for different uses in the future?
Isn't it interesting? The nice thing about Internet technology is that there is one underlying protocol called the Internet Protocol, and that allows all versions, all pieces of the Internet to intercommunicate. So if I'm sitting on a university campus, I can communicate over the commercial Internet if I want to talk to, send email to my parents at home. I can communicate over Internet too if I'm doing a scientific experiment with a colleague in Germany or in Brazil, for that matter. Mm-hmm. But by and large, the Internet is interconnected, and the commercial Internet can talk to Internet 2. Users on Internet 2 can talk to the commercial Internet, and vice versa. I have always said that it is pointless to expect the Internet to be very much different from the world. Right? The Internet is a mirror of the world, and vice versa. But just as I would hope that my physical world is safer, right? I would like, in some places in the world, I cannot be assured that someone won't break down the door of my home and invade the home, right? I would like the physical world to be safer. I would like the Internet, my Internet world, to be safer as well. The academic community, the research community, has always been in the forefront of the development of Internet technology. Right? It started in the academic community, right? And no one is more aware of the dangers of identity theft and loss of privacy and so on, than the academic community. There's an organization called the Internet Society, whose motto, whose slogan is "The Internet is for everyone." I think that's important. And I think if we keep that in mind, the Internet is for everyone, that sort of keeps us mindful of things like the digital divide, keeps us mindful of things like the need for broadband for everybody, right? Keeps us mindful of the need for the Internet, the network, right, as an augmentation of our human condition.
O surgimento nos laboratórios militares há mais de 50 anos, até transformar a nossa sociedade, a internet passou por uma evolução cada vez mais rápida. Dos megabits de hoje para os petabits do futuro, quanto tempo nos separa?